Great to see so many bikes out for the Nationals now.
Let's go racing with them. Here we go, sidecars.
Andy Scrivener it is against the best of the start, but so too did the number one rig there, Spike Taylor and Robbie Shorter, as they head down into turn number one here at Hampton Downs. The sidecars, exciting racing. Pete the Pirate taking the win in a banner finish in race number one. But the good news is all the field streaking down the back straight here under the Laser Plumbing Electrical Bridge and heading down into the Foster's turn number one. And I think you'll find it'll be the 99 of Andy Scrivener out in the front. We'll just confirm that as they work their way into Swampy's curves. Yes, it still is Scrivener in first place. Looks like the number one of Spike Taylor through in second. Just trying to find the Pirate there. He's back in about... Well, actually, he's further back than I thought he was. He might be back in about fourth or fifth, just up ahead of the Lawrence brothers as they work their way into Kev's Carousel on this international circuit here at Hampton Downs. And heading down now into the Double B. It doesn't take these guys long to get around this circuit. They're out onto the existing track now. We get a good look at them at the high pull hairpin, and it's Scrivener and Tina out in the front at the moment. Andy Scrivener and Tina McEwen from Taupo on the RSR 1000. Great to see Andy back in sidecar racing. Took an extended break from racing for a few years, but good to see him back. So he's in command of this one as they head down into the Porsche Dipper. In fact, the leader's already down in the bottom end of the circuit at the sweeper. As I said, doesn't take too long. Let's see what the lap times were last time around for the sidecars. The best and fastest rig in race number one was Pete the Pirate with a 1:48.368. This is from the standing start, so we won't take this lap, but we'll certainly take the next one. Scrivener in the front. Then it is the number one, Spike Taylor and Robbie Shorter. And there is Pete the Pirate and Kendall Dunlop. Behind them, it's the Lawrence brothers on the new Suzuki LCR. And behind Chris and Richie, it's Drew Mayer and Alan Denovan from Wellington. Fastest lap that time, as I said, from a standing start. Not bad. The 1:48.3 for Pete the Pirate as they went across. So they work their way around this amazing circuit. Everybody that comes here to Hampton Downs, be they national spectators or racers or international visitors, they all rave about the facilities right here. It is by head and shoulders better than any other motorsport track in New Zealand, and certainly on par with the very best around the world. And you getting to enjoy it here at the Mike Perro Real Estate Motorfest. Just a reminder that if you're thinking about getting something signed by the legends, they're still signing. They're probably running out of ink. The pens are going that fast down in the pavilions. Back into the racing. I don't think there's been too much of a change as we look for the front runners. In fact, it looked like there has been a change. We'll check on that as they come up to the Porsche Dipper. We might have a new leader in this one. And we have, and it's Spike and Robbie Shorter. Spike Taylor and Robbie Shorter in the front now. Scrivener and McEwen go back into second. Then it's Pete the Pirate and Kendall Dunlop, and then behind them it's Chris and Richie Lawrence, and then Drew Mayer and Alan Denovan. So that's the first four of them, all safely through, as is the 67 rig of Dave MacArthur through as well, although they're slowing a little bit down the short chute heading into the sweeper. We'll keep an eye on that for you, as the leaders will be heading up the top very, very shortly. There he is, number one, Spike Taylor and Robbie Shorter, 99, Andy Scrivener and Tina McEwen. Then we go back to Chris and Richie Lawrence. We talked about the fact that Robbie Bugden was riding a Yamaha machine here at Hampton Downs for the Motorfest. Well, unusual for me for this summer to see the Lawrence boys on anything but the Yamaha. They're on the Suzuki LCR. Number 19 across the line there, Gordy McEwen from Tauranga, and he's back in ninth place. Fastest lap that time, a 1:48.3. Quickest lap. Now let's have a check on the lap records. 1:48.368, so they're getting about the same pace that they were running yesterday. But this time it is Spike and Robbie Shorter, Spike Taylor and Robbie Shorter with the number one, the Wire Rapper Disability LCR. The LCR is really injecting a new life into the sidecars. We talked about it, Neil, at one stage. We said they were down and out, but they're coming back to their very best. And I think in no small way due once again to the man that's the saviour of motorcycling in New Zealand these days, and that's Mr. Carl Cox, certainly with bringing Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes out here and helping Barry and Tracy with their endeavours, and a lot of other people that he helps as well. It's certainly given the sport a new identity, a fresh dose, really, of inspiration and probably hope.
Well, in fact, I go back to sort of doing it in two phases, because the first man to do something about it was a Whangarei man, Steve Braun. And Steve, and he got the first LCR here in the country, but unfortunately he made this most mega change because he was the only one. But now that once others have come along, well, it's more acceptable. But take nothing away from it, I think he was part of it as well. And the other guys have joined him, so why not as well? But look at that, Robbie Shorter. And I'll tell you what, the number one machine, looking absolutely beautiful. Spike Taylor, of course, multi-times New Zealand champion. They didn't go south this year to defend their title, so it's up for grabs. It could be that the 111 drops two of those off at the end of it, but it's all going to be. I had an opportunity to talk to Kendall this morning. Phil and said, well, how was it? She reckons this race is the best race she's ever been in. She said it just felt like that. It was that exciting, that fast, on this brand new track. She said, made for sidecars. She felt it was her best race ever. And I don't think she would have just said that to be nice to the commentator. I think she was. She felt really right about it and very sincere. So there you go. That's what the competitors are feeling like. You get the idea as to why this is so successful.
Yeah, that's absolutely the reaction I got as well when I was walking back to the car after a busy day yesterday. Everyone said, what about that sidecar race? Wasn't that something else? And it really was. You don't often see a banner finish. Now, whether you're going to see one this time or not, I'm not sure, because Spike Taylor and Robbie Shorter have got a 3.185 second advantage, and they have broken the track record. They're down in the 145, so that last lap was an absolute stunner for Spike Taylor and Robbie Shorter. I must apologise to Robbie, because you're only as good as your information up here, and yes, you can make semi-educated guesses, and sometimes they come off and sometimes they don't. And I know at the Battle of the Streets in Pyra just a couple of weeks ago, according to my information, Robbie was in fact swinging with one of the rigs, where in fact he wasn't. He was watching it on home on Ctas.
Oh, wow, that's an embarrassment. Yeah, but did right, exactly, Phil. That's what we've got.
Yeah, exactly right. But it's definitely Mr. Shorter on the side of the LCR of Spike Taylor.
Headstands, handstands.
I hope so. If they win, I hope so.
A blanket as well. Yeah. There he goes.
We're talking about, look at the gymnastic style of Robbie Shorter. Another guy that's, like so many Kiwis, seems to be drawn like a magnet to the Isle of Man. He did such a fantastic job with Colin Buckley a few seasons ago. I know they've been back a couple of times. Lots of Kiwis seems that is it the spiritual home of motorcycling? Plenty of Kiwis have gone up there and excelled. Yeah. Sadly, we've lost a couple up there as well. But man, there's more that have gone up there and got replicas and really put in outstanding performances. We mentioned the Alex brothers have been up there looking to go back. What is it about the Isle of Man? I know it's a sensational. We should ask Steve Parrish that if he comes up here.
Yes.
What is it about the Isle of Man, Stavros?
Yeah, exactly.
And Kiwis.
Kiwis, we've loved it. Man, we're amazing. And the books that have been written and the stories that have been told, and just how many of them. And somebody like Spider Staples will tell you of the over 100 different Kiwis that have competed up there. We're not just talking about 10 or a dozen. There's been over 100 over the years, and some of them have excelled. To me, ones that come to mind, Sean Harris and John Hepburn, and some of the other ones. But then let's go back to Rod Coleman and Hugh Anderson, of course, who was here last night.
Graham Crosby.
That Hugh Anderson, that was all he wanted to do. That was his inspiration to go overseas. He'd been, when the Motorcycle News UK magazine would arrive, he'd be the first one at the newsagents to buy it, probably for about 12p or something that it cost, and then to read all about it. And that was his inspiration to be heading overseas. Didn't matter what he had done or what else he was thinking of doing. The next thing he had to do was the Isle of Man.
Yeah, and you speak about those magazines, and we'll talk about this after this race finishes. But you know, normally they're 3 months behind. It was the only sort of window to the world that you got through print. I know when I was racing motocross way back when, you know, you hung out for motocross action to come out. Yeah, you savoured every second of it, but it was 3 months out of date by the time it got here. This man's not out of date. White flag out for Spike Taylor and Robbie Shorter. Out in command of this one. The advantage has grown. Second place man, Andy Scrivener and Tina McEwen. 6.1 seconds now, so we're certainly not going to see the banner finish, but it's a good points haul once again for Pete the Pirate, Pete Goodwin and Kendall Dunlop. They're back in third place, the 111. Behind... time. So the good news is everyone up and mobile. Has the lap record tumbled once again? No, 1:45.604 will be the new benchmark for the chairs, and it'll be Spike Taylor and Robbie Taylor that'll go, Robbie Shorter, I should say, that'll go into the history books here at Hampton Downs.
So great to see our sidecars back in full force on a national program as well, and looking forward to our championship. Pete Goodwin, never won it before. It's a little bit like, I know he's had triple one for a while, but it's almost like the Aaron Slight reason for triple one. It's not 1-1-1, it's the third time you add them together, it's number 3, and of course wasn't there to be quite the number 1. Well, Pete Goodwin has never won the New Zealand title, so this would be a major celebration this year if Pete was to be able to win it, and we'll enjoy that potentially in another 2 weeks' time for our finale of our New Zealand Superbike Road Racing Championship. NZSBK and the DHL title coming down to a decider at
Checkered flag getting ready to head. So it's not too far away for Spike Taylor and Robbie Shorter. Just saw Matt Peters and Doug Corns go across the line. We talked about that story yesterday. We might reminisce about that one. But here is the leaders and the winners of race number 2. And there is the plank from Robbie Shorter as they go over the start finish line at quite mega speed. That takes not only a bit of guts but a whole lot of muscle control as well. 99 Andy Scrivener and Tina McEwen crosses the line in second place. And there is the points leaders, and that is Pete the Pirate Goodwin and Kendall Dunlop across the line in third. Well, it wasn't the headstand, but it was the plank. I knew he was going to do something.
He always does. How exciting. What an all-round character. Good guy. Loved having his input in the sport for so long. Started when he was a young guy. He swung for so many. Of course, remembering that after we lost Mark Brooks from his non-associated motorcycle injury when the UK man was here 2 years ago, of course, who was called on by Tim Reeves? Robbie Shorter. So that's the kind of respect that Robbie has drawn as a swinger. And when you've got somebody like Spike Taylor, he'll know just how crucial having a good swinger on board, and Robbie chipping in to help the team out here today. So good old Robbie Shorter. In fact, how many different